falling out of the cotton. Back to the story. Back to the top.
Hello, my friends. It's me, Puerto Rico, the Mexican host of Talking to Famous People. Of all the hosts in Mexico, only yo and Puerto Rico. Tonight I'm spent. Spent like money, as they say. I don't know if they say that, but I'm saying that right now. I can't get Christian Summer Pagoo. Buenas tardes to you as well, Isaiah Rude. Buenas tardes. Are you sure it's not noches? I'm pretty sure it's noches actually at the moment. Well, Isaiah said good late afternoon, but King Christian Summer Pagoo, you and I both know it's actually nighttime, and he should have said buenas noches. Or good nachos, translated into English. In Mexico, when they say hello to you, they say good nachos. It's sort of a Mexican dish that it's the national dish of Mexico. Nachos. Of course, authentic Mexican nachos are a lot different than American nachos. Authentic Mexican nachos are made out of burros, like most things in Mexico. I speak some Spanish a little bit, not a lot. I speak Spanish like I eat canned fish, sparingly. Is that some sort of euphemism? I mean, you want to get some, is that what you say? I could really use some authentic Mexican nachos. Isaiah! Now's not the time. You can't have my nachos right now. And for the millionth time, I'm non Mexican. I'm transracial. So they call me Trans Rachel. You know, your Rachel is Trans Rachel because she's Raquel. Pretty impressive. You have a trans Rachel. She asked her if she's also transracial. Would be an interesting question. I suspect people who are transracial are at an increased risk for also being transracial. Um, I'm worried that someday I might become transspatial, which means, of course, that I convert from a space object to a time object and back again. That would be obviously a challenge. Boy, I am tired. Whichever one is winning, it's great. Transracial, I believe, is winning right now. Of course, I'm a little bit biased to my calculus. It's either transracial or Vikings. So, it's been a rough stretch of time here in terms of not getting enough sleep, just like zero SI. So many different parties. Wanting portions of my attention makes Eric for an irritable boy. But, you know, it's probably has more to do with the bad SI than the actual behavior of the people who are I see as sort of encroaching on me a little much. Yankee and Christian Thornberger's here. Octavio Silva's here. Isaiah Rude's here. Everybody's here, including the tears of joy in my eyes, each of which wetly says welcome to each of you. Welcome. Boo. Welcome. So, what we're experiencing right now is a little phenomenon known as big yawns for little Eric. I don't know if anybody here has experienced that before, but occasionally I will be overcome by what's known as big yawns for little Eric. Sometimes I'll be overcome by the equivalent sneezes, big sneezes for little Eric, or I guess those are the only two. Right now, it's definitely big yawns for little Eric. I have a theory that NI-DOMs, probably NI high up regardless, or SI low down, that whether or not a yawn is contagious has to do with SI over NI and not with FE. It's my theory. Next to you, when the cheese is on the thing, and then you get the cheese and bring your knife out so that you can cut a slice. Well, that's just when you'll need to know how much cheese will be. A lot that's nice. Why does cheese suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, I like some cheese, and so do you. Good evening, Angantyr. Do you know, Angantyr, that on the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true? On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled you with something, I'm not quite sure what it was, but probably poo. Am I half awake or half asleep? I'm all awake, but very sleepy. I need to pull some bog rips. Chat to the internet briefly before I can really, meow. Go to bed. That means go to the bread. Go to bread. Go directly to bread. Do not pass go because you should be stopped at the bread. I'm such a breath holder. I'm such a Bernie breath holder. Like, a lot of times when I'm doing whatever, reading something, trying to fix something on the computer, messing with something in the real world, anything, I'll find myself catching holding my breath. Eric, I feel like this room you're in is like the set of a sitcom. There's just a TV crew and lights on the other side of it. No. I mean, I think I've shown around my house before. I am. I was thinking about Octavio Silva's We have no proof otherwise. I'm a little slow. I think it's here. But, that's because it wasn't the case that on the day that I was born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. That was for you, not me. So you have a bit of an advantage. Oh, Nelly. If sleep were poo, I'd be messing my pants practically already. Definitely turtlehead. Lol also seemed like someone is shouting. Nobody shout, please. No shouting allowed. Only screaming and yelling are acceptable. Shouting is right out. Man, I don't think I can stay awake much longer. It's 11:35. Why am I trying to stay awake at all? I don't know. I just feel like I haven't finished playing bowls yet. Observe. What am I observing? Am I observationally observing the observer and her observations? I am some kind of wreck right now. Could be a shipwreck, could be a train wreck. I'm not be very sure, but definitely some kind of wreck. You gonna draw me from memory? You should draw me from memory. I want you to picture what I would look like if I were a human breast, and then draw that. Okay. That's art. Trust me, I'm a metaphysician. I know all about these things. You should draw a picture of your mom's face, drawing a picture of me with my ass on your mom's face. That'd be a good picture. And your mom's face could have a "what, me?" expression on it. Can Christian Summer Bagoo knows her mom's face fits right here. Her mom's face is like right here. This is my ass. It's like fits right there. Drawing. Started articulating with words instead. I did a couple drawings tonight. Today at the debate tournament. I was at the debate tournament all day long. My kid lost 2 rounds. It was a hard tournament. It's a high school open tournament. He's a middle schooler, so here's one of the pictures I drew today. Meow. Interesting. This one I guess I started yesterday or something, but finished it today. And this one I did today. So our deck of cards is coming together slowly but surely. It's always the hands Thanks, Octavio Silva. I love your loving marriage so much. That's so kind of you to say. Obviously I'm not very technically skilled drawer, but I've drawn a lot of pictures now, and I got some sense of, I guess, a little bit of vision with visuals, which I never used to have at all. A little bit. You have your jacket on. You've been outside today? Yeah, I've been out all day at a fucking debate tournament. All day. I mean, the thing is, it's Friday. The tournament doesn't actually start rounds till 2 p.m. But the parents wanted me to work with them from 10 to noon, and then I drove them there and I had to drive them back too. You just draw a picture, basically, that you think is appropriate, that you think is symbolically rich in some sense. And then send it to me, and then I'll put it in the deck. And then what it means will turn out to be determined as I start using the deck and interpret the cards, So, I actually feel like I get a little bit of a second wind now with all those yawns, now that I'm engaging with human persons via modern technology. Sup, Countess? Nice use of sup. Good work. Good work. I'm supping you back. What size cards? These cards are, let's see. I have measuring tape over here. Keychain. It's about 5.5 inches by 4.5 inches. Yeah. 5.5 inches by 4.5 inches. They're like, it's like the stock cards that you can get if you wanted to make your, have your business make a little card that you stick in people's doors or something. It's like that kind of card. What happened to Rackle? Rackle is fine as far as I know. Nothing happened to her. 5 inches by 4 inches long. It's like, that's a very square, that'd be a very square penis. If you posted a pic for me? Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Excellent. Excellent. Wow, that's quick turnaround on the what's it called when you hire a man to pinch him? Yeah. I am so beat up right now. I'm just being awake too much, basically. What? No, cancel. Cancel. Yeah, I did. What I really wanted to see is, whether the being abreast made me look younger, more vibrant, healthier, happier. Look about the same. I didn't post a picture. I didn't post that picture. I didn't post a picture or anything like that. I was live on video. Uh oh, there we go. I don't think that was really the problem. She may have gotten, she sort of explicitly fussed about that, but I don't really think that was the problem. I mean, she's whatever. I don't even want to. Who cares? Uh, what new thing did I learn from today's debate? Well, to be honest, I was surprised at what happens all the time that people don't, even professional debate coaches, even good ones, don't get it. They just don't get things as well as I do. My 8th grade debater understands shit better than anybody else there. I have a cock, his name is Jericho. Jericho, Jericho. Do 20 push-ups as penance. I'm so exhausted. What I really want to do is do 20 bong rips as penance. That sounds like better penance. Ruse's remixes of your songs are pretty jamming, huh? I mean, the only one that I've heard him, I wouldn't call that a remix, what he did to Gabi Weatherman. I would say his deciding to produce out a little bit that song. I mean, it sounds really good, but also, I mean, the drums are spectacular. I don't ever play the drums in my songs. Well, I mean, that's not true. I used to. There's a lot of songs I have up that I did play the drums in, but I haven't played the drums in like 2 years in a song. I don't have access to the drums anymore. So, but usually I get them from YouTube. The last song, the one called "The Point Is Back to the Top." That is YouTube drums. I got some drums from YouTube and took loop from that. That's all. The good old YouTube drums. But yeah, the Rusmix drums are great on the Agave Weatherman. I'm working on it right now. However, the bass is actually quite sloppy, and like it sort of works in the mix, but like I'm going through it, and right now before I started live streaming, I got tired of doing it because it's just so labor intensive. I was going through and fading out all the notes and or if there's a lot of string noise and moving them if they're a little bit out of time. Yeah. Did you guys watch FJ's Frank James's video yesterday talking about actual based on the type I'm interested in checking it as to who they will match me with, but I now have a boyfriend. I'm glad you're not my girlfriend, Countess. That's for sure. You seem just like, you know, like I guess I would say I might call you a dick enthusiast. Or no reason to be crass, a penis enthusiast. Do you have that bumper sticker for your car? Penis enthusiast. Very funny bumper sticker. Uh, only a certain type of penis. Okay. So, the thing I've learned about the big tournament is once again, people don't fucking get things. The resolution reads states ought to eliminate their nuclear arsenals. And everybody's running it like we're an actual policy advocacy. But it's insane to try to impact it like, well, I'm on AF, so I'm going to impact this by ending nuclear war, and my opponent's going to impact this by saying the role of it is deterrent outweighs or whatever. But it can't possibly be impacted like that because there's not an agent. No agent, no action. No action, no fiat. No fiat, no post fiat impacts. That's straightforward. Anyway, so I sort of, it took me the first few rounds to really get my kid focused on the right kind of warrants. And the round I watched, the last one, had told him going into the round, ask your opponent if he has fiat. When you're AF, ask your opponent if you have fiat. And, I watched, he did, and I watched the other kid just unravel in front of his eyes. Because everyone's just saying, playing Emperor has no clothes. Let's pretend AF has fiat on this topic. They don't. There's no agent specified. I mean, the strongest argument in favor of retaining nuclear weapons is they disrupt the historical cost benefit analysis that goes into war making decisions. Not really, Hambone. If you directed your attention to learning it, you'd pick it up in not very long. It's not, I mean, it's deeper than a lot of stuff, but not that deep. The weird thing is, only some people have the right kind of brains for it. Like, it seems weird to me. Like, it honestly seems strange and kind of statistically very unlikely. And I don't know, but that I go into these tournaments and this is a fairly prestigious-ish tournament. I mean, it's not Berkeley, it's not Stanford, or anything like that, but I think they might even have a bid. They're running, open division. And a good number of the high schoolers there have aspirations of going to nationals, competing in TSC maybe, getting bids. I'm not sure if they have a bid of this tournament or not. It's up for grabs, but regardless, it's a pretty serious tournament. talking about high school debaters, and good ones, good debaters who go through things. And the problem is nobody's thinking precisely enough about stuff. Bye, Octavio. Are we going to war? Oh, I hope not. Yeah, it really does help your thinking. It helps anybody's thinking. Watching my 8th grader Jeffrey just blossom into a very deadly flower of a debater. Has the quality of debaters deteriorated over time? No. Quality of debaters has not deteriorated over time, but the rigor of the argumentational process has gotten washed out a little bit. Like back when I did policy debate, we used to have to have various things in our plan text, including a funding plank, like how you're going to pay for this plan. Nobody runs funding in policy debate anymore. However, funding shows up a lot in parliamentary debate, which is like baby debate nowadays. In policy debate, people run much more sophisticated arguments than they used to. But that's the thing. Sometimes this wasn't policy debate. This is LD. In LD, it's supposed to be values debate, but people debate it like it's policy debate, which you can sort of do some of the time, but only if the resolution is conducive to it. So the last resolution said the U.S. federal government to end fossil fuel subsidies. It specified the agent, federal government. That both allows you to fiat, because you can pretend the agent does the action and argue about what will happen, what it means. And if you wanted to run a plan, in theory, you could, because you can specify more specificity within that agent. You could say, I'm specifying Congress as the part of the U.S. federal government that is going to take the action that I'm advocating. You can't really use U.S. federal government because the U.S. federal government never acts. Certain portions of it do. Congress, President, yeah. The debate team high school yearbook quote that basically said fake it till you make it. I thought it was ironic. That's the thing. You can't successfully fake it in debate if your partner your opponent genuinely understands better than you do. He lost the first 2 rounds. My kid did. And by the 3rd round, I think he had internalized everything I was telling him about this very, very, very complicated topic. I gotta tell you, I do a lot of LD topics. This nuclear weapons one is as complicated a topic as they come. It's the framework on it's silly intense, because really what the resolution is asking you to do is to say, if we have to pick one frame to think about nuclear weapons through, should it be a frame of disarmament or a frame of utility? And the AF is tasked with framing it through disarmament and says that's the proper frame to think about nuclear weapons through. That's really what the kids are debating. But the literal statement that the resolution makes is states ought eliminate their nuclear arsenals. Oh, he didn't get flustered at all. The third round that I watched him, I was amazed. He was so badass. I just spent the break between rounds sitting there going over this shit with him over and over again, and um, he busted it all right out on the spot there, and it totally worked like I thought. He asked the kid, "Do you have fiat?" The kid didn't know what fiat was, and didn't even when he explained it to him, didn't get the concept of it. In that round, we had a policy judge. She said, oh, "I'm policy. I come from policy, so." I was just like, because they know what you're talking about. Policy people have to know all of this stuff about debate. Like, for example, because in policy debate, it's a topic area. That means the students are tasked with coming up with a plan. The topic area might be the United States should substantially increase investment in transportation infrastructure. The kids then are tasked with coming up with a plan of how to do that. How should we substantially increase investment in transportation infrastructure? Or we should build super fast trains or whatever, might be an F. Well, that's a topic area, and you've got some sort of affirmative. You have to specify an agent, because in policy debate, if you don't specify an agent, somebody's going to run ASPAC on you, which is agent specificity. That you have to provide the agent, or else we can't critique meaningfully whether we have to do this thing, because how it gets done is as significant as what exactly did you say will be done. Some things might not be possible to actually accomplish. You can't articulate the how to do it, then and then additionally, if an AF tries to fiat multiple things, fiat comes from policy debate. In other words, the AF says, okay, our plan is going to be to build this high-speed train. Congress is going to be our agent. We're going to fiat Congress to do that. We're also going to fiat the courts to change case law in some fashion. Well, that's two separate fiats. AF has fiat once, because you have to tackle one question at a time. So, because of those kind of things, the way policy debate is built, you can't escape policy debate without really understanding the debate vectors. Like, for example, fiat. Whether AF has to have fiat because NAIG can't argue against them. There's a low probability of this thing you're advocating for happening, therefore we should negate. That's not a negation of the thing they're advocating for. That's a description of the status quo prior to the debate. Presumably the debate sways people's minds. Okay, I need to pull about 5 more bong rips and go to bed. How long will it take me to pull 5 more bong rips? I don't know. Are the kids you teach smarter kids now than when you first started teaching debate? It's a surprisingly difficult, or it's a skill that few people have, using a computer to learn well. And it's definitely its own skill. When I go to look for debate cards, I have no problem finding kick-ass debate cards and cutting them and everything. And it's because I know where to search, namely Google Scholar, and what search terms to use. I'm looking for something snappy in relation to the topic that is it a slightly odd search term, so other people are less likely to have it. Also, I'll often repurpose just interesting sort of related things. I get caught reading shit on Google Scholar because I'm looking for cards for debate. Well, this teaches me a lot of broad information about a lot of things. But my kids, on the other hand, really don't. They're not. They get there when they get a little bit older, when they get a little more skilled at it. But cutting cards is an art form of itself. I generally can't trust even experienced debaters to cut their own cards. I got to do it because you express something slightly the wrong way, you end up running afoul of your framework in this way that they don't anticipate. That oh, don't run that. You're gonna end up it's too turnable under this framework because of this vector here. Blah, blah, blah. They miss those sort of things. I can't trust them to cut cards. Also, cutting cards, it's an exercise in concision. You need to get the warrant that the card expresses with a little extra bullshit that it says as possible, because you gotta do more explaining than reading ultimately if you want to be fully successful in debate. It's not a rule or anything; it just ends up playing out that way. Which is, a lot like your mom's face. I need a good poker. I'm tired of the motherfucking jacket. Sweating my boys when I'm chilling in the shack. God. Don't they know they're running afoul of my urban ways? Okay. I got a multiple choice question for you guys. Would you say that I'm A, hard as fuck, or B, harder than that? Which is the answer? Which is the answer? Tough question, Eric. Tough question. Both of them are such good answers. Do you know that Urban Dictionary, they have an entry for Eric? Hard as fuck is all it says. Oh, that guy's hard as fuck. Don't fuck with him. Hard is the bar test. You mean not that hard? I'm sure it's not that hard. I'm sure I could totally pass the bar right now without any studying. I bet you with my betting bone, I'd probably lose the bet, but I'd pass it on a second try. Oh yeah, I got plenty of debaters have been chicks. Some of them, look, I've got sort of this middle list of my beasts, and they're the debaters who through the years have been like basically those ones that stand out that you don't even necessarily have one every year. The ones who are really talented or whatever, or the ones who really are high achieving. Sometimes they're really talented, sometimes they're really driven. But amongst that list of like my top debaters, well, Kelly definitely stands out as one of the best debaters I've ever had. She, as an 8th grader, won an Orange County Open High School Division tournament. Like my 8th grader right now is in an equivalent tournament. My current 8th grader is getting bad as fuck, but he's not quite as badass as Kelly was as an 8th grader because I had Kelly since she was in 5th grade. It was her 4th year in a row debating for me. Of course she was badass. But Jeffrey's pretty badass too. There's no doubt about it. And I like the way that Jeffrey is enamored with understanding all the rhetorical reasonings and stuff in depth, because I like to talk about that. I like to run arguments on that shit, you know. What other really successful? Oh, I mean, fucking Grace. Grace was one of the best debaters I've ever had. She won LD with my Nation K, which was a hard case to run. You got to be really understand deep to run that. And she put a handle on everybody in that tournament with that case. Grace was great. INTJ. One of my all-time best. She makes the list of beasts. Little Edmund, Big Edmund, Jax, David Dosh, Kelly, Grace. Am I forgetting anybody? I mean, you could put Alex on there, but he doesn't really deserve to be on the list because I only really had him as a debater for 1 year, and he and Jax busted out in, I think, octafinals at nationals, and they should have fucking won the thing, or at least gotten to quarters, semis. So, yeah. Oh, Zod was really badass too. Again, he busted out in quarters and nationals in Dallas because he was being a douche. The judges didn't like him. I really don't know how to answer how are you. Why do I need to make that so complex in my head? I'm resistant to it. I've come across that phrase 3 times a day. How are you? How are you? It's a weird question. It's a weird word, weird sentiment. How are you? Are you well? When people ask me that question, I usually go, fine, good, yeah, that's cool. Something like that. Which is the true answer. Yeah, I'll answer truthfully. Most of the time, the true answer is fine, normal. You know, nothing's going on really. Whatever. But sometimes I'm not feeling particularly great. Probably, you know, even if it's like lady at the weed store or something. Oh yeah, how's it going? You just be like, one of the better days, whatever. No, ISTJs. All my best debaters. Kelly's an interesting one. I'm not sure what type she was or is. I saw. Oh, she's in college now. I saw her recently judging at a tournament. You know, serious debaters who debate all through high school for at least a few years after it. It's a ground judge. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful community of people. It's just in the sense that it's not like I've got a bunch of debate friends or anything. I mean, it's a beautiful community in the sense that I love walking around in a debate tournament, hearing people talk to each other. And you hear these kids, middle school kids, high school kids, and And you know, you hear him talking and stuff like, so anyway, my opponent was trying to say that nobody's ever been invaded because they give the nuclear weapons. I was like, duh, Ukraine, Minsk protocols, you ever heard of it? Like when you hear kids like, having these conversations with each other, or conversations about serious philosophical topics, like, you know, he totally misunderstood that consequentialism. I was like, if that's what you mean by consequentialism, then how does it even differ from deontology? Those kind of things, I love hearing that. I love hearing the younger I hear it from them, the more awesome I feel like it is. Sometimes, you know, when you hear fifth graders saying that shit, you're just like, fuck yeah, I am a good teacher. I am a really good teacher. I mean, but the thing is, it's debate. Debate's a really good teacher. Some of us are better at teaching it than others, but it's a wonderful medium of everything. I was at Little Rock when Titan dropped his wrench. I wonder what that refers to. Interesting. Interesting. I often have lucid dreams, says Stephen Rain. I don't. You must not smoke shit tons of weed. But one thing I'll say that weed does to you, and this is one thing I will just not even bother trying to disagree with or defend or anything. It does make it so you do not remember your dreams. You might still dream, but you don't really remember them. It may just actually curtail your dreaming directly. I'm not sure. That's a super low prayer. I mean, I just don't want to do it. I'm done with that. I'm done being a really serious debate coach. Like, in the sense that I'm working very seriously with Jeffrey, and I definitely want to win TOC with him this year. I wanted to be state champion. He has got a very, very real shot at being state champion in Lincoln Douglas. You know, obviously, shit happens. But one of the reasons why I'm so encouraged by him is he's encountering shit constantly. And his dad is a really good ISTP. Like his dad will sort of follow up on everything and be all, well, this judge said this. I guess we do address everything. And, the family in general and how much I like them and how nice they are to me and everything. It makes me really do my best for them. But being a serious debate coach actually means not caring so much about individual debaters. It means putting together a big program, a big, powerful program in which, the kids are soldiers and you're always looking for the next super soldier and losers don't get much attention kind of thing, It's like, it's kind of inevitable. I mean, the thing is, when I run a big squad, everybody gets plenty of attention because I'm a teacher before I'm a coach. I was a classroom teacher before I was a coach, and I was a good classroom teacher insofar as one can be a good classroom teacher before I started coaching. So, I make more of an effort, I guess, than most coaches. But the bottom line is for a sport like debate that's kind of voluntary versus regular school. It's like I don't want kids whose parents are forcing them to be there. I want kids who are motivated to be there because they want to be on my team or they like debate or something like that. Uh, yeah. No, I don't know what that's from. I have no idea. I'm very curious though. Metal Gear Solid 5, it's a video game. I mean, whoever wrote that thing is obviously a debater. It's like an inside joke a debater wrote for a video game or something. Oh, you replaced some of the words. Okay. Okay. I wish it had been those words. That'd be great. Who is Kazuhira Miller? Half Japanese, half white person? Oh, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, like the ones I used to know. It's too late. Christmas is past. My dreams are shattered. Only shards of despair gathered around my feet. A man denied his vengeance. It's a reflection of my inner state and the current state I am living in, which an earthquake-prone zone. Carl, you can travel the world to record dreams. You don't have to travel the world to record dreams. You could just go to bed. My family wants me to stay home for Christmas. Christmas is past. It is currently January. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. In Serbia, Christmas has you now. Why do you have Christmas in January? Everybody knows Christmas is December 25th. If you have it in January, you're celebrating wrong Christmas. You celebrate wrong Christmas. I'm not going to do for you, Cloud. Nothing at all. Because you're guilty of wrong Christmas celebrations. Yeah, well, a lot of rules regarding Christmas. You were probably on the permanent naughty list with Santa, is my guess. Serbia, Serbio, Serbiu, Serbi. Serbia makes me want to say that. My friends started calling me Gypsy because I'd always reach into their pockets and steal stuff from them. I thought it was cute. And they said it wasn't so cute. I insisted it was. But eventually, after a lot of long conversations, they convinced me that I should stop doing that. Tell you a joke, Fate Wind. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to make up a joke on the fly, or I will try to make one up on the fly. It's hard to make up jokes on the fly. Make up lots of jokes, but I don't remember them. Exotic lucid dream music. What? I wonder what that is. Exotic lucid dream music. That like kind of music they play in a tiki bar? I feel fairly satisfied. It's satisfying live streaming, you know? I've been serving other people a lot lately, and it's nice to get down to my good old Enneagram Type 7. Any dumb, spoiled child, man-child ways, you know? Fuck. That reminds me. I went to the store, went to all the trouble to go get non-alcoholic beer for me to drink. I think I left it in the car. Well, I'm gonna have to go get one of those. What a maroon, as they say in the old Warner Brothers cartoons. But Bunny would say that. He said, "What a maroon," but he actually meant moron. True facts. True stories of factual natures. When you want the facts, mixed with the truth, mixed with more facts, come to me. I'm the man with the fact truth. I didn't leave them in the car. Silly Eric. They were right there on a little table outside my room here. Good news, everybody. Have you heard the good news? Hey, everybody. Have you heard the good news? Okay, my account is Kang Krishna Sharma Pagoo. Oh, it's Sharma Pagoo, though. Oh, you slipped an H in there to fool people, huh? When people try to contact you, you should be like, no, I'm not that person. I'm not whatever that name was you said. I'm Kankan Krishna Sharma Bagu. Yeah, Kankan, are you from India? She's Mexican, Cloud. She's lying. Like a lot of Mexicans have started naming their kids shit like that these days. I went down to Tijuana the other day. Like half the kids down there are named Basmati rice. It's really strange. I tried to ask them why, but they only spoke Spanish. Mainland Indians resonate with Sharma surname. What's the alternative to a mainland Indian? Is there an Indian correlate to Taiwan? Boom chicka wah wah. Indeed. Boom chicka wah wah. If you want to play boom chicka wah wah, you'll need something to make a boom, something to make a chicka, and something to make a wah. You'll have to use that third thing twice, of course. I've noticed TI polar people love to say facts, especially in approval. Like facts are the only component of a logical argument. Yeah. Where do I find ESFPs? Wherever there are cakers, you will find ESFPs. Wherever a group of talkative youths are about to go snowboarding, there you will find ESFPs. Whenever somebody is saying, come on, everybody, let's go to the beach, that person is an ESFP. You got 2% East European genes? I think right now, let me sort of feel it out. It feels about like, that's growing too. I got about 6% right now, it feels like. And I've gotten as high as 98%. I don't like sand either. Sand and I don't get along well. Because see, I don't have a physical vagina. I definitely have a rather gaping metaphysical vagina, though. And sand it has an oddly osmotic quality related to the physical metaphysical barrier. In other words, it can transubstantiate itself into my metaphysical sand vagina. I mean, gaping vagina, fill it with sand. And thus, I become immediately fussy the close when I hit the sand on the beach and get progressively more fussy from that point forward. I don't like the way my feet feel. I disapprove of its non-plant supporting nature. Constantly getting wet from the ocean. I'm a sand bone. I'm a sand bone. I'm a ham bone. Ham bone. Do you want to start together? Do you want to start an organization called I Don't Like Sand? I think we should. It's like a fan group or something, except it's an anti-sand. We're fans of anti-sand. Anti-sand. What do you think the most anti-sand substance known to man is? What's the most anti-sand? Is it oatmeal? What's the opposite of sand? Anakin Skywalker is not the opposite of sand. Anakin Skywalker doesn't like sand? He is. He's the opposite of sand. But cereal, though. Oh. I don't like sand, though. What I am serious about wanting to know, though, is what material in the world is the opposite of sand? I don't underestimate ESFP's powers. I've watched Naruto. You know, he totally becomes super powerful. Even though everybody points out that he like shouldn't or something. Dark matter sand is the opposite of sand. Okay. In non-dark matter capacity, though, what is the opposite of sand? I would say it's got to be oatmeal. Because you got to evaluate it in terms of what do we mean it's the opposite of it? Well, it has the opposite foot feel. What is the opposite foot feel of sand? Goo is too aspecific. That's not specifically a thing. You have to specify what kind of goo. Oatmeal is a kind of goo. Boom, chicka wow wow, chicka wow wow, boom, chicka wow wow, waka woo, boom, chicka wow wow. You want dense matter to compress the sand, compare to sand. Well, I mean, you could try to say the opposite of sand is hardwood floor, because in that sense, sand is whoa, you slide, move around on it, whereas hardwood floor, yeah. But I don't. Toothpaste, well, toothpaste might be the opposite of sand, I guess. Maybe it is. Okay, I think it is. I think we're in agreement, Hembo. Toothpaste is the opposite of sand. That's fair. That doesn't matter. Hey, NI. Stop dirtying Hembo's NI with any further analysis. The opposite of sand is obviously toothpaste. I define opposite as that which successfully completes the equation. Sand is the blank of toothpaste. Clay is not the opposite of sand. No. They're very similar. I like Bruce's answer. Beach and ocean. What? How is that an answer to the opposite of sand? Water's the opposite of sand? Why is water the opposite of sand? Water's not the opposite of sand. Water's the opposite of fire. Everybody knows that. Taint juice. Taint juice is not the opposite of sand. I'm not sure what taint juice is the opposite of. I guess nectar of some kind. Because water breaks down rock, which makes sand. That makes water sand's adversary, not its opposite. Okay, maybe water and sand are enemies. I'd buy that. They're longtime enemies. You do not want to invite both water and sand to a party. Oh, no. Tank juice is the opposite of maple syrup. Well, then what's the opposite of boysenberry syrup? Yeah, it just happens to me sometimes when I stay up too long. I should start, getting the giggles. All right, so what's the opposite of kitty? I want to know what the opposite of pee-pee is. Oh, my beautiful kitty is so wonderful and true and special and good. She's such a good kitty. Oh, look at this good kitty. Oh, so adorably true and just and fine and special. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gracious. Oh, my goodness gracious. Who is my kitty pageant winner? That is a kitty pageant winner right there. If you want to know who's going to win the kitty pageant this year, it's obviously Pee-Pee. What a beauty. What a glorious goodness kitty. Oh, so good, true, and delicious. So wonderful and just and fine and special. Oh, what a silly kitty. The opposite of kitty is a hot dog. What's the opposite of a hamburger? Cordettes? Stephen? Pluvophilia? Rain? What's pluvophilia? Pluviophile. Pluviophile. What does that mean? Dogs aren't hot. Cats are. Dogs are furs. Well, what's the opposite of a hamburger? No opposite of a hamburger, not a pizza. No ham bone. The pressure got to you. You had hit like several shots in a row. And, the moment was too big. It was like a kicker. The replacement kicker for the 49ers, really. Poor guy. The opposite of hamburger. Oh no. You better look, check your answer sheet again there, buddy. The opposite of hamburger is definitely not pizza. No, Bruce Wayne. Your mom's face is the answer to dark matter. Okay, look. I'm gonna go ahead and answer it. You got enough time to think about it. The opposite of hamburger is Shreddy Chandra. Obviously. Okay? Like, if you want to cancel out your hamburger, you just put Shreddy Chandra with it. She's been canceling out hamburgers. That's what she does. Now, you might point out, ham bone, doesn't that make her adversarial rather than opposite? Not in this instance. Special reasons. Important distinctions. Shreddy Chandra is the opposite of an indoor water park. Oh, did I get it? Was it Kankin Christian Farmer because the opposite of a hamburger? The opposite of a turkey, you know who? Every hamburger has an equal and opposite hamburger. That's a good one, Brittany. That's a good one. What's the opposite of a libertarian? Probably an authoritarian, totalitarian. Yeah, probably. Um, 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 I got that beer here. I smoke a cigarette too. That was wimpy, except wasn't it Tuesday? Or was it Thursday? I think it's Tuesday. I believe Wimpy offered to pay people on Tuesdays. I made one a bit ago to try to find out if it was worth using to interact more with the TWFP community, but couldn't find anything on the TWFP Facebook page. Yes, you have to add yourself to a closed group. Closed group's got like, I don't know, 700 members, some 800 members, something like that. I'm not TI'd on. Lol, Tuesday is correct. Have you seen Robin Williams? Yeah, I saw that. The old Popeye movie. I saw it though a long time ago. I don't really remember it at all. Oh, I've got a very, very itchy anus. Itching there, down there between my cheeks. I've got a very itchy, itchy anus. I'll scratch it for a week. Yes, my anus is terribly itchy. I wish I had a corncob pipe. I'd use it to scratch all along my anus so it would feel all right. You want to get up in your anus with a scratchy, scratchy thing. Perhaps a pine coat or your mom's face. That would be a scratchy, scratchy thing. I am Isla Gatad. If you can't find me, find Peter Denchichi or Dentichi. Am I supposed to say your name out loud? My bad. If it really bothers you a lot, I can just unpublish this one after I'm done with it. I don't know. I want to scratch my butthole. A noxious or tactile stimulus will cause a wink contraction, anal sphincter muscle, and also flexion. What is on your schedule for tomorrow, Eric? I got another day of debate tournament. I gotta get round start. I think at 9:30. But need at least like 6 or 7 hours of sleep. Okay, I want to address this question. Luis Tizon says, Eric, videos talk about how girls don't like nice guys, prefer jerks, keep showing them on my YouTube homepage. It's annoying. It makes me really upset and angry because I'm really nice, not to brag. But it's true, and it's effortless for me to be that way. But being bad, that would take a lot of effort, and it'd be very difficult to do because I don't know how to not be nice. But is it true, though, Eric? No, it's not true that women like assholes. It's true that the people who are most comfortable showing, displaying towards a succession of women and interested in them sexually are going to have the most success. And it's also true that those same people are generally assholes. But to conclude from that women like assholes is specious reasoning. Here's what women need from a man. They need the man to know what he wants and to handle the timing of how and when to make that clear appropriately. So it's like a lot of people who consider themselves nice guys, like me, assume, especially if you're an FE nice guy, that the way to be a nice person and the way to be considerate is to provide more control to the other party. Like, where would you like to go to eat? Or whatever. Fact is, it's not even necessarily it doesn't really have to do with gender so much as the way dating works. Maybe it does have to do with sexual, like biological sex, but women don't really want to chase you unless you're being kind of aloof. Like, women don't want to be the one who knows what they want and what's referred to as confidence a lot of times is simply clarity of path. And people have varying degrees of clarity of path. So there's something inherently trustworthy about somebody who's presenting to you as though they are a person who's possessed of a clear path regarding you. I'm interested in you. I'm pursuing you. Is always going to make a person feel good unless you do it in a weird, creepy way. If you do it sanely, and safely, like, you got to make the other party feel safe for sure. And that means being able to deal with them as a human being, first and foremost. Being able to display some vulnerability. Does it mean deferring to them or whatever all the time and being weak? No, it does not mean being weak. And no matter, I might be the nicest fucking guy in the world in some ways, but there's never been any woman who's been with me who would dream of saying, he's weak. You know, I try to be considerate. I try to be accommodating. And I expect that to be respected and appreciated. But it's fully of the highest order to attempt to be more of a dick to get chicks. The only kind of chicks you might, in theory, get by doing that are very damaged women who've had that sort of thing as the basis of their understanding of what loving relationships are, and then it's like if you care about a human being, then you care about a human being, a specific human being. If you want to get laid, fuck a bunch of chicks. It's going to take a lot of effort to safely do that, to make sure you've got chicks who are on the same page with you. And if you're really prioritizing the outcome, fucking a lot of chicks, you're probably cutting some corners in that area ethically. It's like you're playing with high explosives. So you better do it very carefully. And most people who want to fuck a lot of chicks probably don't do that carefully. What you said, King Christian Simon for you. Right. Well, here's the thing, Cloud. When you don't genuinely respect their experience and feelings over time, when you don't respect their SI, they're going to take away from their experience with you memories, conclusions about people, conclusions about lots of things. Then you have a choice, Are you going to respect the value of their humanity as well, or treat them as a means to an end? If you want to treat them as a means to an end, it's just not going to make for a good life ultimately for you or anybody else. It just doesn't work. You can't successfully be wicked. For where it appears that someone is successfully being wicked, it's an illusion. Okay, well, Cloud, it seems to me, to be perfectly frank about it, that like you're excited about some sort of FE component of this. That you're excited about the power. You're excited about your ability to bed chicks and stuff. And you note that it's an outlier's ability to do so, that you're much more able to do so than most people. If you really are an ESFP, then that's your challenge in life. You got to remember that you view FI as an instrumental thing. And that ultimately, if you're negligent about other people's being, dealing with other people, that you'll end up fucking your own shit up more than anybody else's even. How old are you, Cloud? Well, close enough. Yeah, I'm super sleepy. Look, people do that in their youth and whatever. But it's nothing to be proud of. Betting a bunch of chicks is nothing to be proud of. Um, yeah. And not necessarily anything to be ashamed of either. Again, depending on how much care you take, how much assessment you're doing about the person you're dealing with, and what they actually want, what they're telling you, and stuff like that. Of course, you're 20. You know, you're 20, and you've got a bounty of choices in front of you. Of course, you're going to be inclined to explore the notion of maybe I should just fuck my way through the first few years of my 20s. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it is. I don't know. But throwing poo at them can't get Christian summer for you. That's how. It's 1 a.m. I gotta go to bed. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm giving away another tournament. There's so much stuff I have to do.